Hello, how you doing? Welcome. We have a coffee cup. We may proceed. Okay, so I'm going to be on YouTube for about 20 or 25 minutes and then Rumble. Link is in the description. And after the hour on Rumble, then I'll be on my website. So I'm using the main computer for everything. So that's why I'm not on Rumble at the same time as YouTube. And will hopefully this will work so that I don't end up with the same kind of issues that we've had in the past few broadcasts. So, anyways, just checking here. Going to head over to. Here we go. Killing the sound. Okay, Slow Country, how you doing? Good to see you. Hello, Carly Simon. All righty. Okay, good. Okay, so how about a 5x5 for sound and video, Susie D? How's it going with the sound and video? Everything good on YouTube? Okay, so title of today's Extreme. Well, it's not the title. It's my background. Is War on the Horizon. There's a few things that I've talked about in the past. I'll be talking about them more on the Rumble show, but we're going to get into it here a little bit too. So good. We're 5x5s. Okay, right on, Grace Johnson. How you doing? Okay, good. Perfect. B-Dog. All right. Heading over. So again, I think they're trying the financial wars in line with everything else. I'm working on a story with somebody else. I've been contacted. Somebody's been doing some deep digging, and we're kind of working on it together, putting a couple things together. But there's some pretty big stories coming up. So again, we'll cover it here. So I'm going to do a screen share. We'll walk through some articles, show you some stuff, and work our way into it. There's a lot going on around the world, a lot of crazy stuff actually, and I want to show you some of that. Just 1 second here. I need to get one more tab up. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do the screen share. And Creighton, how you doing? Good to see you. Vitra. Okay. Screen share. Okay, so this is Colin Morris. This is his investment channel. It's separate from the redacted channel. He, if you don't know this about the guy, he is a former Fox host, Good Morning Fox or whatever. He is ex mainstream media. They've moved to Portugal, him and his wife and family, and they're running the show out of there now. But they made a lot of money on the stock markets and with real estate investments and all kinds of stuff like that. So he's got a lot of expertise in the markets, etc. Hello, Tom Miller. And we're just going to watch just a short portion of it here. Then I'll move on and we'll kind of walk through what's going on and my kind of prediction of what I see coming and how I see them doing it and why. And then when we get over to Rumble, I'll be able to cover stuff that I'm not going to show on YouTube. So here we go. Fair use. Fair use. Here we go. No sound. No sound. Rage, no sound. Okay. Okay. I don't know why. 1 second. I think maybe I just got to go into settings here. My mic is on. I can't. Okay. Well, I guess that's lesson learned. Not to use StreamYard anymore. Anyways, okay. So what he's talking about is look. We always say things are going to happen on a Friday, and they always do. And when the banks do stuff, they're supposed to close down on Friday nights. The markets are supposed to close, but this is when the bad apples pull the shit they're going to pull. So what he's talking about here is in the United States, a lot of your smaller banks are going to start going down, and it's being done on purpose. They want there to be eventually one bank, right? But right now, they just want the major banks that they control, and they don't want the smaller banks and credit unions to be operating. So they're working around ways to do it. In Europe, they're doing the same thing. They and they're taking down Credit Suisse, which is one of the biggest banks in the world, and selling it off. And it's going to be, it's worth hundreds of billions of dollars, and somebody's going to get a hold of it for, 4 million or something crazy like that, like less than a cent on the dollar sort of thing. It's ironic. It's crazy what's going on. And the people that are going to suffer, the people that have the money in their bank, they're the ones that are going to lose. So that's what they're doing there. They're doing it here in the States as well. The bail-in is coming. The banks are going to say, we're bailing in. We're taking your money. Hey, remote, how you doing? And they're going to, that's what's going to happen. You're going to wake up and your money's gone, or your balance is there, but you can't touch it. Either way, it's the same thing. My first channel got taken down because I was covering, back in 2012 and 13, I was covering this in Cyprus and in Argentina and in Greece. We were covering the bail-ins, and we were digging into it, looking into, I guess it was me at the time. And, I was digging into it, looking at it. At that time, there wasn't shadow banning a whole lot. Okay, you could still find a lot of stuff. It was still easier to find things on the internet. You didn't need VPNs. It was coming. But this is the kind of thing that was going on. So in response to watching this today, and again, here, I'll put the link in chat. A lot of you I don't know how many of you watch Redacted, but anyways, there's the link to this video here. So I'm keeping things close to home when I'm looking, because again, we all have to do this. You have to, whatever province in Canada or state in the United States, or province or state, wherever you're watching from around the world, at the local levels, you have to watch what's going on. Okay. So you have to watch your broad national market. You have to watch the world markets, but what's happening at your bank, in your town, in your area, that's really where you need to be looking. So I started to look at how many, like, small banks in Alberta and in Canada. We don't have a lot of small banks. So we'll do the search right now. What am I on here? Okay. I'll see if I can get away with it on here. This is on Brave browser. It's not on the VPN. So list of Canadian banks. Banks and credit union in Canada. We'll go here. Okay, so domestic banks. There's quite a few. So Canadian Tire has a bank. Bank of Nova Scotia, of course, BMO, ADS, UNI Financial Corporation. So in Quebec, Coast Capital Savings, that's in British Columbia. Digital Commerce Bank, formerly Direct Cash Bank, Equitable, Exchange, Fairstone. So we do have a lot of banks in Canada. Manulife, Laurentian, okay. President's Choice, okay. People's Bank of Canada. But look at the ones here in blue. Wealth One, Toronto Dominion, Royal Bank, National Bank of Canada, Laurentian Bank. I don't know who Haventree is. Equitable Bank is another one. Bank of Nova Scotia and Bank of Montreal. I mean, those, Toronto Dominion, yeah, those are the big ones. Those are the really big main banks in Canada, the six big banks. And I can see some moves being made here soon. And where they're starting and how they've been doing this over the years is with the credit unions. There used to be lots and lots. Carly Simon says Coast Capital went federal 3 years ago. Okay, hey, Point Fire. Trudeau makes many withdrawals from the sperm bank. yeah, he probably does. Probably has to go to a bunch of sperm banks to get done what he needs to do. So I just went to look at credit unions because back in 2008, and then it really got heavy in 2010 and 11, but Service Credit Union swallowed up a bunch of credit unions. Now, there's still other ones in Alberta, and again, we'll go through the list here. So ABCU Credit Union, Bow Valley, Calgary Police Credit Union, Christian Credit, Connect First, Encompass, First Choice Savings and Credit Union, Kalsa, Lakeland, Pincher Creek, Rocky, Service Credit Union, Spark the Energy Credit Union Limited, amalgamated with Connect First Credit Union Ltd. for November 1st, 2021, TransCanada Credit, Vermilion Credit Union, and Visit Credit Union. So in Alberta, there's a few credit unions. But we have what came in 2020 is a revised November 25th, 2020, during the whole lockdowns and all the other stuff going on. They brought in these new regulations here for credit unions in Alberta. How they do things and what's going on. Service Credit Union is all across the province, and it used to be a bunch of different credit unions. And then what happened is some of these bigger credit unions started buying some of the smaller ones, and then a bunch of them got into amalgamation partnerships. And then what happened is once they had these amalgamations in place, they brought in the big credit unions and bought them. So instead of there being 40 credit unions in Alberta, now there's a dozen. And that's since 2008. And they keep rolling it in. So in our provinces and in your states and the states, in a lot of places out of a lot of countries, they're doing the same thing. Again, it's all part of the agenda. They're amalgamating. They're bringing it in. They're pushing it all. Okay. Again, I think there's a financial war on the horizon. I'm going to move these to here first. Okay, so let's look at the stock markets today. Hey, Mad Shad. What do we got here? I'm just going to check the comments. Kathleen, hey, Ken, how you doing? Yeah, I'm mainly on Rumble too. I got a lot of YouTube here, but I'm doing a lot of that. Praying Gorilla, right on. Hey, folks, get your links in there, right on remote. That's your Praying Gorilla Sanctuary Hour on Rumble, right on. So the markets are up quite a bit. And it's been this way for a couple days. The The Toronto Stock Exchange, the S&P 500, the Dow, they're all going up. The Canadian dollar took a, well, it's tiny, but it's, it's going up. Okay. Crude oil went down and Bitcoin went up again. And again, remember, they're going to use Bitcoin to take down all the other cryptocurrencies. Here's their listing of cryptocurrencies down here. And crypto mining is still huge. And there's a lot of it going on. And there's a couple of big places in Canada. And one is being built in Alberta. And again, trying to dig in to get some information on this. Crypto is robbery. Crypto is it's a pyramid scheme. There's just no other way to put it. And all the governments are going to take advantage of it and use it. I honestly believe that it's the governments that brought it in the first place. Okay, so what the bank collapse in the United States means for the Canada's big six banks. And they're talking about on the macro environment and bank stocks, and it's the investment end of it. See, the rich people are going to be okay on the investment end of it, right? It's everybody with money in the bank is where you're going to lose out. If you're an investor and you have those other portfolios, okay, depending on where you sit with it, they're probably going to be somewhat protected. But your bank accounts with your actual money, no, they're not. Okay, just one sec here. Janice wants to know, so credit unions are better. We've been in one for decades. There's a lot of big advantages to credit unions, basically in how they invest their money and getting loans from them and everything, and actually having shares. Okay. Most credit unions, it's like a co-op kind of thing, right? And you actually have shares. You actually have ownership. Whereas a bank, you don't. You're technically and legally a partner, but you don't really get any other than the pittance of interest they pay you, right? So there's that advantage to credit unions, which is another reason they want to take them down. I mean, there's way more to it than that. I mean, we could spend a day and a half on the differences and advantages and everything else. But the biggest thing is, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's a bank or a credit union. What they're trying to do is get them all amalgamated down to either a tiny group that they control, or just one bank, $1, one currency, one everything. Yeah. Thank you, Susie Snethead. Well, yeah, and Bobcat says fake money with interest rate criminals. Yes. Well, and again, that's what's going on. So here's the big six in Canada: Bank of Nova Scotia, National Bank of Canada, CIBC, Royal Bank, Toronto Dominion, and the Bank of Montreal. And the thing about Canada's banks and the banking industry here is we have different rules than you do in the States. It's kind of the same in a lot of ways, but not really. And the other difference is that, and it says right here in this, our banks still have to keep a lot more in the bank than they do in the States. There still has to be what's called, as you can see on the screen, credit loss provisions. So there's a liquidity ratio. There's your common equity tier ratio, and I don't completely understand those, all other than to say that they have to keep a certain amount of money in the bank. And that has to be available to the customers. But we also have the laws in Canada, just like just about every other country in the world, that they can legally bail in and take your money. And so I said, war is coming, in the it's behind me on the screen, and it's my thumbnail for today. It's going to be a financial war, and they're going to come after the money. And when they do, and they start taking people down, and you can't have your money, that's when things are going to lift off locally and get hotter. all the shit they're doing with all the other distractions, you know, it's only so much. People are fighting back. And here's an example, thanks to Tribute to Canada. I tried to find a video on the what happened in Thorhild, Alberta, and I haven't been able to find it. So I'll have I'll have a story up for that on the Rumble show. 2 minutes 35 seconds, fair use YouTube. Oh yeah, right, no sound. Okay, I tell you what. I'm gonna have to save this for the Rumble show. If you're not getting sound here, I'll have to save it until I can use OBS. And I guess from now on, I'll have to use OBS for YouTube as well. So, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna call it here because I want you folks to see these, and I'm gonna head over to Rumble and get that show going so I can play these links and you can hear what's going on, and we can explore it. Again, some other stuff that's going on is there's big protests in France and other countries, but France is really going crazy right now. Israel is having major protests. The left and the right and the cabal and governments and everybody else are all, it's coming to a crash. Yeah, things are heating up, and we're almost at the end of the month. And there's something else coming in. So, okay, I'm going to call it here, folks, so I can get the Rumble thing set up with OBS, and then be able to play all these things so you can hear the videos and see everything. So, we will see you over there. Links in the description, and people have been putting it in chat. So, thanks very much. We'll see you over there.